ladies, and welcome back to the channel. My husband and I are on our way out to dinner with another couple. So before we leave, I wanted to do a little different type of video for you ladies today. And from the title of the video, it's going to be about 5 things that you didn't know about me. So if this is something you're interested in, then please watch the video to the very end. And without further delay, let's jump straight into today's video. So as usual, before we get into today's video, I wanted to give you a quick look at what I'm wearing today. This dress, some of you probably saw in my video last week if you watched that video. So before I talk about my outfit of the day, I wanted to just share with you my makeup palette. One of the really beautiful palettes that I love to use on my eyes is by Mineral Fusion, and I just love their color palette. It is a very neutral color palette and it's very subtle. And so today I am wearing this light brown shimmery color right here. And then I've sort of gone around my eyes with the lighter color. I don't know if you ladies can see that, but this is the eyeshadow palette by Mineral Fusion that I am wearing today. And now let's talk about what I'm wearing today. So what I'm wearing today is this beautiful Merlot colored red dress. And one of the things I really love about this dress is the flow of it. And I paired this dress up with my pearl jewelry. I'm just wearing a pearl bracelet and also some pearl earrings. But this dress to me is absolutely gorgeous. And everything from the color to the style of it to the fit, I really love this dress. The shoes I'm going to give you a little bit closer look at. These shoes were made in Italy and they are this tiger print, or maybe it's leopard print, but they have the perfect heel on them for me to wear out to dinner. And I think they look stunning. There is this beautiful contrast of the tiger print in the shoe that goes really well with this deep, rich red dress. And I think the outfit is stunning. But let me know in the comment section down below if you like my pairing up of the tiger print shoes with this type of dress and the color of it. But I love it. I think it really fits my body type quite well. So that is my outfit for today. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm holding in my hand, this is my microphone because I didn't really have a place to attach it to my dress. So this is my microphone in case you ladies are wondering. But the first thing you probably did not know about me is my favorite food. Now, I would have to say that my favorite cuisine is French and Italian. The first time we went to Italy, I fell in love with Italian food. Now, I am not just talking about pasta and pizza. Authentic Italian food is really delicious. And there are dishes that we had like fava beans, there is osambuca, and there are all these really flavorful Italian dishes. Now, I do love occasionally the Italian pasta and also some pizzas that we had while we were in Italy. However, that is not the only type of food that we eat there. In fact, we do not do a lot of the pizzas while we're in Italy. We use that as more of a treat. We are usually geared towards the more authentic Italian cuisine. And especially if you're in Venice. Venice is famous for their sardines. And so this is a place where they actually do a lot of dishes that contain sardines. And in the area of Rome, you will get, if you're doing the primi or you're doing the secondo, you will get a dish that's going to contain pasta. However, it will also contain some little bits of something like a cow cheek or something like that. And it's really, really tasty. Now, I think the second type of cuisine that is my favorite was French cuisine. And while we were in France, one of the things that I really loved was the different types of dishes that we could get. Now, we were in Avignon, and I think Paris was pretty much the same, but in the south of France, it was more of the local, authentic French cuisine. And there were things like duck that you could get. There were things like, I can't remember the name of the dish, but it was some sort of very small chicken, and then you would have ratatouille. So there was these really interesting French dishes that we got to try while we were in the south of France. And I think one of the other things that we loved about Italian and French cuisine is that their desserts are not overly sweet like they are here in the States. And I'm not a person, which is something else you probably don't know about me, but this was not one of the things I had on my list. But I am not a person that loves sweet. I don't have a sweet tooth. I am more of a person who loves the savory type of palate. I will have a dessert once in a while if it's something that's not very sweet. And that is what we found in France and in Italy. The torts, which in Italian is cake, the torts that we tasted, they were like almond flour, and it was just a really delicious flavor without being too overly sweet. And that was the same thing we found about the French pastry. So those are my two favorite types of food. Now, do I eat those type of foods all the time here in America? Absolutely not. My diet is totally different than what I do when I'm on vacation. We do primarily vegetarian and sometimes pescatarian. We add in some fish, but my diet is 100% different than when we are traveling. And so when we travel, it gives me the opportunity to splurge a little bit and also to be able to taste some really different foods from around the world. Now, the second thing that you probably didn't know about me is that I love to travel. That is my favorite thing in the world to do. I really do love seeing new places. I love connecting with different cultures. I love seeing different museums and just really traveling and just sort of settling into other areas of the world. And one of the things that I love about travel is that it gives me the opportunity to just relax, to really let go of everything that I have to do on a daily basis and just really flow into the community or into the place where we land. There is no certain time that you have to get up. There is no certain time that you have to go to bed. You can stay at dinner, especially if you're in Italy. Dinner is usually about 4 hours, and that's if you've been to an aperitivo. And dinner is also late in Italy. So you may go to an aperitivo around 6 p.m. And then after that, the Italians usually have dinner around 9 or 10 p.m. So you're going to be out really, really late. But nobody at the table is really worried about the time. And so that is one of the other things that I love about travel is that you're not always on a clock. And I think that here in America, we are really too attached to being on a clock 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never really just letting the day flow, being present in the moments and not necessarily looking at our watches or looking at our phones and wondering where you're going to be next. But one of the things that I really love about the travel is that it appears as though people are just in the moment and they're not worried about getting to the next location or the next destination. They are really just enjoying where they are at the present time. And so when I travel, this really helps me to slow down, to settle down, to really just enjoy life the way that it was intended to be enjoyed. And so that is the second thing that I think that you guys probably did not know about me. Now, if you did, let me know in the comment section down below. But travel is my ultimate favorite thing to do. And I am blessed that my husband will travel with me. So he's not a person that will not go with me. Once we're in our destination, he actually settles into it. So I was blessed to have someone that loves to travel. So that is the second thing that you probably didn't know about me. Now, the third thing you didn't know about me is my favorite flower. Judging from what you're looking at in the video, these are beautiful. This was actually my flowers my husband got me for Valentine's Day. However, my favorite flowers are calla lilies and hydrangeas. And the combination of these two flowers is what I had made into my wedding bouquet. There is something about calla lilies and hydrangeas that just really just bring me sort of a calmness. They're the beauty of them, how they open up, the shape of the flower. And so I have always loved calla lilies. It is my favorite flower of all time. And when we were traveling in New England, I actually fell in love with hydrangeas. We were in Rhode Island, and there was these beautiful rows of hydrangeas. And I just couldn't believe how they just grow and they spread out and they get really big. So I decided to have the hydrangeas included in my wedding bouquet as well. So, the third thing you didn't know about me, but now you do, is my favorite flowers. Now, the fourth thing that I am 100% sure that you did not know about me is that I am sort of a geek, but in the most pleasant way. I love doing numbers. I love dealing with finance. I love just really taking, let's say, money. Say that there is a $20 bill. I love taking something as small as a $20 bill and finding different ways to invest it, to make it grow, to just seeing how many different ways that I can take a $20 bill and earn money from it. And it, for some reason, it is pleasant to me. I love putting things into a budget. And by the way, I am also a money-wise mentor. So I love putting things into a budget and finding areas where we can save money. So this is sort of a passion for me. And I also love helping other people put together their budgets as well. And this is something that I volunteer to do at our local church. And it does bring me great joy. So I'm sort of a geek when it comes to that. And I just love budgets. I love dealing with numbers. I love saving and investing. This, to me, is very fascinating. Maybe not to you, but that's why you didn't know this about me. Now, the last thing you probably didn't know about me is that I love history. Anything history, I am fascinated by. I love watching shows on either Netflix or maybe Amazon Prime that contain history. I love learning about old buildings, old castles, and just how history evolved. And one of my favorite movies was Downton Abbey. And the reason it was my favorite was because of the era that it was in and how much history was back in that era. So that was a really interesting film that I enjoyed watching. But when we are traveling, one of my favorite things to do is look at buildings and monuments that were built in AD and BC. And this really fascinates me in terms of how these things were constructed. Because back in those days, I think it was just manpower. They didn't have lifts per se or electronic machinery that would lift these ginormous boulders up and stack them on top of one another. So the history of these things just really fascinate me, and I just love not only reading about history, but actually going and seeing history. And one of the things that we did a lot of while we were in France was visit museums. And going along with loving history, I also love art. I love to go look at artists. And whilst we didn't have the opportunity to go to the Louvre while we were in Paris, we got to see a lot of just amazing museums in Avignon, Provence. And so I had already kind of had my feel of a lot of different artists and things in the south of France. So I was not really disappointed that we didn't go to the Louvre. But one of the things that I loved about being in France was there's so many museums, and the museums were everywhere. Every corner we turned, we could find some sort of art museum and just tour the museum and look at the paintings and try to figure out what the artist was trying to say through his paintings. Have you ladies ever done that? Let me know in the comment section down below. But one of the things about art that is intriguing to me is looking at a piece of art and trying to figure out the story that the artist was trying to tell. If you just look at a photograph and just try to figure out what the story behind the painting, I find that very fascinating. And so that's the next thing that is intriguing to me is history and art. And I think the two go together because when we went to Italy, one of the most famous and most just amazing things we saw was the David. And that was contained in a museum called the l'Accademia Museum in Florence. And when you step into the museum and you see the David, you have to see it with your own eyes because pictures do not give this particular statue any type of favor because the David is so well crafted and it is just so huge that when you walk up on it, you just have to continue to just be in awe of how someone could actually craft a statue this way. All the details of the David are very intricate, from the sling that was on David's shoulder to the eyes to the muscles. It's amazing. So that is the last thing that you probably did not know about me. So ladies, let me know your comments or your thoughts in the comment section down below. And once again, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you are just landing on my channel for the very first time, my name is Teresa, and this channel is all about leveling up and becoming more elegant and more graceful. And if you are interested in that, then I would love to have you join my community of women that are becoming more elegant and more graceful. And also, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And once you do, turn on your notification bell so that you get notified every time one of my videos go live. Thanks for watching, ladies, and I'll see you in my next video.